Center Hice Productions. It is October 12th, 2023. Please hit the likes and the subscribe down below. And we, of course, for opening night, have Bob Gainey as co host in the room with us. Okay, this was opening night in the NHL, and the Habs had the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the final result was a 6-5 victory in a shootout for the Maple Leafs. Mitch Mariner getting the winner. And the Habs kind of let this game slip away. They had the lead twice by two-goal leads and blew it. So this is something they're going to have to learn. Seems like some old habits, hard to die. Mind you, penalties didn't help, and I think some of the pairings on defense need to be changed. I don't think that it works with Savard and Matheson. I still think that Jacki and Kusevich are a better pairing. However, there was just coverage wasn't particularly the best. I still think tonight, it's not a knock against Josh Anderson. He played an all right game, but that line just did not gel really for the most part. It just seemed to be Caulfield and Suzuki once again. So I think Josh has to move in the lineup somewhere because it's not a great fit. And our second line was quite outstanding. This was our best line by far, and it was quite shocking. Doc, Slavkovsky, and Newhook. And Newhook got a couple of goals tonight anyway. We'll give you the stats here real quick. Montreal scores in the first period. We go into the second. Toronto, we score one. Toronto scores three. So Toronto's ahead of us going into the third. So first lead was after the first. Then we come back with 3 goals to Toronto's 2 in the third period. So we had the lead. We should have wrapped this thing up, and we blew it. And I don't know. In the shootout, we did not look good. Anybody key when it came to Suzuki, Caulfield, and Doc, they all kind of choked. I was really kind of surprised that Suzuki really just totally mishandled his puck altogether. However, that line wasn't bad. Suzuki and Caulfield looked good. However, the power play looked a little better. Anyhow, it wasn't a bad game, but here's the sad part of it. Toronto outshot us 42-24. That's got to change. There was a point there. I remember, I believe it was in the second, and it was something like 13 shots to 2. That can't happen. You cannot win hockey games that way. Amazingly, I know this didn't look good on Allen's part, and it wasn't due to Allen. Yes, he let one in. It looked kind of soft. Misplaying it. However, penalties gave us troubles, and we left Austin Matthews open quite a bit. So poor job on covering Austin Matthews. Good game by the Habs, so this was a very good game on both teams' parts. But that line of, I think you definitely got something there with Newhook, Doc, and Slav. Slav had a really strong game tonight, and so did Newhook, getting 2 goals. Slav made a very beautiful pass there, setting up a Newhook goal, which was just gorgeous. You figured that Slab was going to go and take the shot. He didn't, and he just slides it over to Newhook wide open. And just quick thinking, very quick pass after receiving it from Doc. So very good game, and he was kind of playing. Like I say, he's still got to get better on his legs, no doubt about it. But a good showing for the kid. Again, that third line was atrocious. Pearson and Gallagher, no. No, no. If anything, uh, Pearson, I really didn't notice him. Gallagher, I noticed a little bit. I wasn't impressed with either one of them. Monahan played well, but didn't have any partners. That's what killed him. They got to change that. I think the fourth line was pretty good too. Jake Evans had a strong game. Nice to see. It'd be nice to see him return to old form, and this was a good sign for him. He was playing in between Harvey Pinard and Yolonen, and those two were very strong as well. Although I think that I would move Pinard and Yolonen up to the third line around Monahan and drop, um, whether it be Gallagher or maybe Pizzetta. I think after tonight's game, I think you alternate with those three. You can, come back with one or the other. Um, but I would juggle those two in and out of the lineup because they were pathetic tonight. And Gallagher was a little better than Pearson, but nothing to brag about. As I said, that third line hurt, and it was only Monahan that seemed to be the strongest player. The defensive pairings, again, they got to work with that. I don't think they're perfectly set there. I think you got to separate um, Matheson and Savard. Just some reason they don't seem to complement each other. Speed wise for Savard, and Matheson seems to have a hard time um, covering up as well in front of the net. He lost his man a couple times. So, for that being our top defenseman, it didn't look the prettiest. Even goalie seemed to, yeah, there were, yeah, moments. Uh, Liked what I saw with Arbor. And after that, pretty, Ryan Reeves came out there pretty forceful with a few hits, and he took quite a shot on Gooley, and Arbor just happened to be right there, and it was so good to see Arbor drop the gloves. I was like, you're not getting away with that type of hit. It was kind of a cheap shot from behind, which I'm surprised, that Arbor got. Yeah, I know he got the instigator, but however, um, that was a check from behind. That really dangerous hit, and really lambasted Gooley. And so they dropped the gloves, and we got our answer. This was a good fight. This was a good fight. Yes, Reeves started on top. Arbor kind of hesitated at the beginning, giving Reeves the opportunity to recognize that they were going for it. And I don't know if that was almost whatever. Reeves came up with a couple punches in the beginning, but Arbor did very well at kind of ducking them. Actually, I don't really think anything landed very much, so did quite well. So then he got a few shots and got Reeves a few times on his own. I would give Arbor the edge in this one, and was quite proud of him because I was fearful that he was going to get his butt kicked. But now listening, I think George LaRocque and Chrissy Nyland, between the two of them working with Arbor, there was a difference. He knew how to protect himself. He tied up Reeves. It was a good scrap, and then he just stormed him through the net. It was just beautiful to see. But however, I do not, like I said, you can't really blame this game on Allen. He had a couple goals that were, one more so than the rest of them. But our defense just, mm, we had a lot of trouble, and you can't give Toronto those power plays because that's where we seem to struggle a bit. I think we were 1 for 3 on the power play, still struggling, but at least we got one. Um, However, I think things are going to have. It was a very good game, so it's not a very dreadful game. There was a lot of positives in this game. Um, Harris looked very good. Arbor looked good. To me, those two were the best. Kasevich was very unnoticeable. But like I say, to me, there was problems with the Savard Matheson pairing. Matheson looked good on offensive rushes, but in his own zone, he didn't look that sharp. And Savard I've said it all along. How are you going to put him on the first pairing? The guy's too slow. He did, however, make a very beautiful dive to get in between a 2-on-1 there, and was a nice play to break up the play. So Savard has his pluses, but I still say you got to keep him on the third pairing. You got to figure something out there. I would almost, I think you got to alternate between. I don't know if you put. I'm not sure how you address this. I would think that you might want to put Gooley with Matheson if possible, or Arbor with Matheson. I don't care for the time being because they still have more speed than Savard. Uh, like I say, because Kasevich didn't have that strong of a game. Didn't have a bad game. Don't get me wrong. Just not noticeable. And sometimes that's a good thing because he wasn't noticeable for bad things either. Um, Team just didn't show that well tonight. But anyway, we will go on and play the Blackhawks on Saturday, and we'll give you more information. But however, here's how the game started. We will give you the goals. Where is this? Yeah, okay. So anyway, the stars were Austin Matthews had a hat trick and was a +2, but he was so uncovered. Marner had, I think Marner had a half decent game. He got the game winner in the shootout. Newhook had 2 goals and an assist and was a 1. Okay, so the game starts. Jake Evans gets an unassisted goal, which was a sloppy play by the defenseman. And then Alex Newhook gets that beautiful goal from Slavkovsky and Doc. That's the goal I was talking about, goal number 2. Then Gregor comes back, ties the thing up. Austin Matthews puts them ahead. Nylander gives them a 2-goal lead. We get in uh, within one. Caulfield had a goal taken away from him, and he was offside. The presence. I don't think it was a very clear shot. However, he's got to be a little more um, aware of where he's at on the ice. When they're in that type of play, just the presence of where he's at, the line is. He's got to be a little more aware because he's ashamed that goal was taken from him. So he gets a goal, and then Alex Newhook gets his second assist by a beautiful slap shot by Arbor. And Arbor, I think Arbor is the power play guy. Uh, No doubt for the point. No doubt in my mind. Kirby Doc had a strong, strong game. Yes, Jesse Jesse Yolonen had a very nice goal with an intercept by Harvey Pinard, and those two were very strong. Pinard had a good game. Austin Matthews comes back. They tie it up and just are within one, and then again they get another one with Austin Matthews that ties the game, and 2-goal lead. You got to win that game at that point. So this is something the Habs have to work on, and no doubt. Shots 24, 42 for the Leafs. Hits. Montreal led in hits, and that's hard to believe. 37-27. I watched that game. Didn't really look like it. Face-offs 28-26. We were all right in that department. 1 for 4 in the power plays. 2 for 4 for Toronto. 25 penalty minutes, 15 for Toronto. Giveaways 9, Leafs 13. 8 takeaways for us, 10 for them. Block shots 15-13. We did okay, but again, really, I just think I don't. I don't think that Arbor should have got the extra alone, other than for him to be out that point. I just think that Reeves should have got a second penalty for that being a dangerous hit from behind on Gooley. So he looked like that was, to me, intent to hit. And I like a hitting game because I wish it was all the way it used to be. But if you're going to call it, then he should have been called for it. And anyway, good to see Arbor did his job. And to me, I think Arbor is a better challenger for Reeves than we thought. because I give Arbor the edge in tonight's fight. I was very proud of him. Love what he does, and then you see that big shot from the point. So very big positives for the Habs. They got to fix up, tweak the defensive pairings, and I just don't think Josh Anderson's going to fit that first line well enough. Maybe you move Monahan. I don't know what you do there. Uh, that you got to come up with something because I don't think I would want to disturb that second line. So I think it's between Monahan or Pernard that you move up to that first line. Um, and I wouldn't disturb the second line. That was beautiful. Slav, Doc, which is beautiful. They play well together, those two. And New Hope just really kind of he's a great addition to that line. Just inserts, adds a bit of fuse of the speed for them, and the other two can do the rest. But other than that, Jake Allen, he was okay. I think really we allowed too many penalties and we paid the price for it, and they're too much for us when they outman us. So it's too much talent there. Though we have a lot of positives, we fought a good game. Except the only thing I'd say is you can't let games like that slip away from you. So hopefully it's a learning experience. We should have had that one wrapped up. However, we with that with their firepower, and like I said, I just didn't like to see. I think we got to do a better job. You got to get somebody on Matthews because it doesn't take much to shut him down. Okay, with that being said, Leafs win 6-5. I also did want to reiterate something because it was in my last tape. I had already had it taped before the news came out of two more waivers, which was who we all thought him Heineman was going to make the team, and I think if he had, I kind of agree with Tony Marinaro. If he had started the preseason the way he ended it, he probably would have solidified. However, in saying that, they had to protect Ylonen because I think if he would have been waiver exempt, Heineman would have stayed. However, you had to protect Ylonen. I understand that all too much, and I think a little stint down in the AHL might just get Heineman back on track to where he was in the playoffs. Norlander, it was a little bit of a shock to see him go down, but again, uh, you know, you were in a situation with him and Barron. Like others, I would have given him a slight edge, but Barron's got the experience, so hard to say. And yes, I do agree with Marty that there's just not enough shown on Norlander. That was only for a few games in the preseason. Justin Barron, there's a lot more work, that they have to go by in his game. So a short stint, Norlander can go down there and still work at it, and it could be a pleasant surprise when he's brought up. So that being said, I just wanted to reiterate that. It was sad to see that, it went that way, but with Ylonen, you knew darn well he was the guy that had to stay. There was no doubt about it. And for the defense, what were you to do? It was Norlander or Barron. So they chose to go with the senior guy, and I kind of think that was right too. And you had to protect Ylonen for the time being, because if it had been an equal situation, we know Heineman would have been the guy staying. But this will get him a chance to get himself going. So thank you for watching. Please hit the likes and subscribes. Tell your friends about it. I'd muchly appreciate your support. Let's hit 100 likes. And where does the puck drop first? Here at Center Hice. We shall catch you after the Chicago game. Go Habs, go. And like I say, we can put our heads up. This was a very well fought game. Got to work on our shootout, though. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for following, and we'll catch you in the next one. God bless.